they need to see that. They need you to be happy. It's important to them, just like it needs to be important to you. And it's the only way you can truly be who you want to be for them, is to make sure you're making space for you too. Hey guys. So today I'm shooting from my backyard. We just had a huge windstorm. Actually, we've had continuous windstorms here in the foothills of the Rockies for west of Denver for, I don't know, a couple weeks now. This winter's been weird. There's been barely any snow, but nonstop wind just comes and goes. And I'm gonna show you up there. So here, that tree, it used to be like those trees. And it came down. And we're gonna take a walk, and I'm gonna show you another tree that came down. I'll show you the greenhouse that got destroyed. And yeah, the divorce, all the other things that are going on. There's lots to do around here. And I also wanted to show you this. Someone close to me got me this thing, and it says fixer of everything. And it's sat on my desk for several years. It's something I wanted to talk to you guys about today. Now, that is something, fixing things for my family is something I take great pride in. However, that is also something that can get very, very dangerous. You can go to levels where you're people pleasing so much and you just kind of forget about the things you need. There's plenty to be done. And so it's really easy to recognize the amount of things that need to be done, and the fact that every day that they're not done, we're losing money because you know, there's mortgages, there's new rents, there's all sorts of things going on when you're preparing for the divorce. And so there's pressure for sure, but it doesn't matter, because in the end there's only so many things I can get done. So I'm trying to keep on track. I'm trying to keep things getting, you know, pushed along. And today, that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be out here filling trash bags. I'm gonna be getting this place cleaned up and just trying to put one foot in front of the other until something else happens. Because let's be real, a lot of times there's only so much you can do, and it's not gonna be enough until it is. One day, enough days of things not being enough add up to it being enough one day. So you just keep going. You keep putting one foot in front of the other. You try and you make time to play with the dog, play with the kids. You know, make time for your art, make time for your hobbies, for your music, whatever it may be that keeps you going. Because if all you're doing is chipping away at an endless pile that will never stop, and you don't make time for the other things, then it's gonna catch up. It's gonna catch up fast. And it's also going to probably make you a worse person in terms of how friendly you are with other people, how patient you are, how generous you are. Because how can you be generous when there's an endless pile that you're constantly chipping away at? You have too many things and you'll never get your pile finished. So how can you start helping someone else with theirs? Well, that's the wrong mindset. But while you're out there trying to do all of these things to make all the people in your life happy, make sure that you're doing the things that make you happy too, because they need to see that. They need you to be happy. It's important to them, just like it needs to be important to you. And it's the only way you can truly be who you want to be for them, is to make sure you're making space for you too. Plus, that's the example you want to set for them. You don't want your kids to grow up and just think that they need to be continuously working for someone else's happiness until they're done with that job. Like, you can be happy while having kids. You've got to mix it in, and you've got to let them know what's important to you, who you are. So I'm gonna stop rambling there. I'm gonna get to work, start breaking down some of this greenhouse project. I might even start cutting on some branches. I've got a lot of fun ahead of me, but we'll get there. A couple months, this place will be sold. I'll be starting a fun project, a more fun project of picking my next place and designing that place and making, you know, impactful things that will be a part of my day-to-day life, and I'm really looking forward to that. I know my kids are as well. They're looking forward to designing their new rooms in my house, and so onward. So this tree, as you can tell, is very full. This is not one of the dead trees you can see over there. there's, you know, a tree that's about ready to come down. Luckily, doesn't seem to be anything in its path, so it'll come down. This tree, on the other hand, looked much more like those trees. It was very healthy, except that it had high winds, and we've been facing some high levels of pine beetle infestation. And I don't know if that's what happened to this tree. I honestly don't even know what to look for. But I can tell you, of the trees we've had fall down here, which have been 3 in the 6 years, this is by far the most, or the healthiest tree. So, look at this. How shallow those roots. My house down there, you can see the greenhouse to the right, that was fully covered. It was a fully functioning greenhouse, and now it is just blown away, which is all right. I was gonna have to take it apart anyway, so I just have to throw away a few more things than I had intended on throwing away. Let's go take a look at some of the other fun. Right in front of me, there's a tree. That tree also should not be there, but fortunately, it's just a little bent wire. So we'll be able to fix that fairly easily. But just a few new things, several hours of extra work on top of trying to clean this house up, paint it, prep it for sale, complete the divorce, all of the fun things, and trying to, you know, be a good dad, do fun things with my kids, all of that as well. But there's some chickens. Hey chicken, where are your friends? They hanging out in the shade today? As I'm sitting here dragging this stuff around, and you know, it's gonna be many weeks of this. There is that's just one greenhouse. We'll go get some water just a second. I'm reminding myself that this is gonna take a long time. There is a pace that is ideal, and it is not sprinting. It's not crawling, but it is not sprinting. And it honestly does not matter what other people want the pace to be. The pace is what the pace is. I know, thank you. She gets it. So we're gonna keep moving along. We're gonna keep knocking things out. And I'm gonna keep shifting my priorities towards what I need to do for myself, for my children, and for my dog, and for my next house, and for all the other things. But I'm not gonna burn myself out. This is my life. This is how I'm gonna do it. One foot in front of the other. And we'll keep going. Hey guys, needed some caffeine. I'm not I do have a crazy sweet tooth, and I, at one point, was about my heaviest, like 60 pounds heavier than I am now. It was actually when I was in the military. It's just, yeah, a lot of hurry up and wait. So I sat around eating not healthy foods too often. But I do have a sweet tooth, so now I just use about, I don't know, a tablespoon and a half probably of honey. No sugar or sweetener. But I do use a little bit of this Italian sweet cream. not black coffee. I don't understand that. That's not tasty. If anyone's interested, I do make, I have an Etsy store for philosophy related shirts and mugs, where both of these came from. Yeah, I'll put the link in the description. It's also on my website, which is in the description as well. So check it out if you're interested. But I am fueled up or getting fueled up. Bast and Clover are both outside taking a break. I'm gonna head back out there to join them in a minute and move some more things around. But beforehand, since the sun is really actually cooking right now, and that's relative, it's early spring, so I'm used to it being cold. It's like 70 degrees out there, but the sun is up and going pretty good. So I'm gonna knock out a few indoor things. I gotta change our water filter, I gotta change a furnace filter, and I've gotta do the chimney sweep fun, but I think I might save that for tomorrow, but we'll see. But I'll take you guys along. So we're just gonna change this water filter real quick. I noticed I'm down to my last filter. One thing I would recommend to you guys, especially if you own your own house or a rental that you're in long term, in Obsidian or some other kind of database, like I keep my notes in Obsidian, but you can use any note taking app or database app or whatever works for you. Save these in the link in Amazon or wherever you buy them. Save the part number. It makes it a lot easier later, so you don't have to try to hunt it down, especially once you've gotten rid of the paper, the packaging. It's pretty much impossible to figure out. You just got to start Googling your filter again, which luckily the guy who had this place before left the model number, so it made it easy. But save it, makes it easy. So you just cut this thing off and then twist this loose and try not to drip out too much, even though some always does. So bring along some kind of pitcher or something. This is just sediment, so like this isn't like crazy funky water or anything nuts like that. Usually I bring a bottle of water. I forgot to grab a bottle of water. There's none stored down here, so that I could just rinse out the sediment, but I'm gonna do that and we'll put in the new filter. So got that rinsed out. There's an O-ring in here. I've got a packet in there. I did the same thing, save the part number for the O-rings. Probably every year or so you want to replace that. You just kind of check it whenever you change the filter. I do my filters every 2 months, I think, for the sediment filter, but O-ring looks decent. So put the filter back in, make sure it's centered. There we go. Tighten that down. Just hand tighten, nothing crazy. Okay, looks pretty good. Oh, no. Not tight enough. That feels better. There we go. That's it. Clean up and on to the next one. Alright guys, we're gonna step further back into the dungeon. Pardon the mess here as we are preparing to move, but let's see if I can get you a decent angle here. It's not too terribly bad. Alright. So, we're gonna replace the furnace filter. So we come back into the dungeon, unclip, open this guy up, and you're gonna pull this one out. You're gonna look at the arrow to see the airflow is up. So, here we go, just like this. So we're gonna match that flow, that right on top. All the way in there, close it up, and there's the dirty one. It's not too terribly bad, but all right, let's get out of here. but I do have my sweet rubber shoes for going out into the chicken barn. There's enough muck and poo and stuff that you don't want to wear anything other than boots, but I don't generally deal with the chickens. I'm more of the garden guy, and so I'm making do with what I got. Got some grapes that are past their time. We're gonna head out there, give them some of this, along with some rain, and I'll probably have to come back and get some water. As you can see, our friend the tree did not get conquered today. However, the greenhouse area is looking much cleaner. Once the tree's out of the way, all of those pots will get dumped into these beds, but the tree is currently blocking the one gate into our garden. Here are our chickens and ducks. Hi, hi. Can't see a lot in here, but there's some nesting boxes. It's a little bit in need of some cleaning for sure. The found the grain. Get some grain. Alright, so we accomplished step one. We've contained many of the chickens and we have fed them. Now we need to get them water. And then I have to shut that door, and then they have to rely on themselves to go inside. But whenever the weather is nice, there's always a couple that find their way up here and just hang out on top, perched all night long, even when the weather gets cold. When it gets really cold, they usually find their way inside through the automatic door. Here we go. All right. I just made a rookie mistake. I wore my chicken poo shoes straight into the house to get water because our hose outdoor spigot water faucet thing, it has been worn out, and so I need to replace it, and so we're manually carrying water out here, right? I know. Tell me about it, birds. Alright, so we have water. So I'll put some in there. Your water. Alright, so we have watered and fed and graped them. And we have closed the door. We've escaped the chicken labyrinth. Oh, you know how to go through the other door. Use the ramp over there. You know the drill. Oh, no, not that. All right. Oh, you're gonna all just run out now? Okay, well, enjoy the view. We missed this place. This garden was pretty awesome. It was nothing when we got here, and it's nothing fancy now, but it grew a lot of stuff. Not a bad day's work, boo-boo. What do you think? You want another throw? Alright, do a couple more. You guys are crazy and the people need to see it. No one believes me. Alright. Doing? Hey, say bye. Sit. Alright, probably good. I almost got through this whole day and forgot to tell you about like one of the oldest ones of all. So this tree actually came down at the beginning of the winter, maybe even fall. There was a platform between these 4 trees right here, and this one went down and the platform came down too, but it came down like a foot short of hitting the fence. So it was like the one tree that came down and didn't do anything. Actually, we had 2 that came down and didn't do anything. But this one over here did, and that one over there did. And as you can see, chickens are already taking their spots up on top of the chicken coop. Precisely in the one place where chicken hawks can still get them, but I think they are pretty safe at night. They haven't seemed to have any trouble yet. We have had a fox get a couple in the afternoon, evening time, usually like an hour or 2 before this time, before sunset. But that's part of it out here, I guess. We've got fences, and some of them, a lot of them are 8 feet tall, and they'll find a way. But all right, Bast, we've shown them all the fallen debris and trees and damage. Let's go. All right, guys, I am done. That's what I'm eating. Salad, spaghetti, some bacon added. I'm tired. I am gonna go veg out for a little while, but remember, you have the same amount of time as everybody else every single day, and it's up to you to prioritize how to use it. and it's up to you to decide what you're going to be the fixer of, because you can't be the fixer of all things, especially for all the people in your life. It's too much. So you have to pick what's important, what matters right now, and forever, and for many, many years now. My most important thing, and the thing that matters most to me, is my children, and that's more true than ever. And so I'm getting this house ready to be sold, and I'm going to find our next place, make some new memories, and just continue with, you know, the next act in life, and do it with intention and with constant assessment, not in a bad way, sometimes in a bad way, but do it with intention and with constant assessment, so that I can better shape my days to be a little better each time, and know what to do the next time I run into conflict that's, you know, similar to this kind of conflict or this kind of conflict, and how to handle things. So I'm clearly exhausted and rambling at this point, so I'm gonna go eat this food, let Bast calm down. She's finally starting to relax, and we're gonna let this night wind down. So enjoy the rest of your day.